The first morning sunbeam filtered through Laura's white curtains, delicately illuminating the living room. The light wood furniture and pastel-toned cushions created a cosy atmosphere, an oasis of tranquility for anyone who stepped inside. On the main wall, photographs of Laura and her beloved dog Bolt were displayed. Bolt, a medium-sized dog with caramel-coloured fur and dark, unwaveringly loyal eyes, was a faithful companion. Each image was a testament to their shared happiness, immortalizing their moments of laughter and affection. At 42 years old, Laura woke up to the sound of her alarm, as she did every workday. She exuded a serene energy, the result of her dedication to maintaining a well-organized home and caring for her faithful canine companion. Her brown hair, always neatly tied back in a simple yet elegant style, framed a face that carried the marks of past hardships, experiences that had made her more cautious and protective, especially towards Bolt, whom she had rescued as a helpless puppy. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the kitchen, a space where everything was in perfect harmony, from the ceramic jars of sugar and cookies to the delicate porcelain dishware reserved for special occasions. As she took a sip from her favourite mug, which featured a small paw print design, her gaze drifted to Bolt resting at her feet. His tail wagged in a slow, steady rhythm, a silent sign of his absolute trust in her. Each time she reached down to affectionately stroke his head, he lifted his ears and let out a contented sigh. No one would have suspected that something sinister lurked in their home. That Tuesday morning, Laura mentally reviewed her to-do list as she prepared for work. She worked at a nearby office, following a routine of leaving at 8 a.m. and returning around 5 p.m. During those hours, the house was left in the care of Doña Marta, a housekeeper recommended by a childhood friend. Initially, Laura felt fortunate to have found someone who supposedly had experience with household chores and, more importantly, was comfortable around animals. Doña Marta was a woman in her mid-50s, with greying hair tied in a bun and an expression that at first glance inspired respect and serenity. She always wore simple, neutral-coloured clothing and flat-soled shoes. Her slightly wrinkled hands, weathered by time and housework, firmly held the broom or cleaning supplies. When Laura was present, Doña Marta would smile and make casual remarks like, "Bolt is such a good dog," or "I've always loved dogs." For the first few months, the routine ran smoothly. However, Laura gradually began to notice subtle changes in Bolt's behaviour. The once playful dog no longer ran to greet her at the door with the same enthusiasm, nor did he eagerly follow her into the kitchen when Doña Marta was present. On several occasions, when he thought no one was watching, Laura noticed a slight tremor in him, something that had never happened before. Concerned, she took him to the vet, suspecting a possible illness, but the checkup revealed that Bolt was in excellent health. Soon after, Laura began noticing small scratches on his paws and back. At first, she attributed them to rough play in the garden or accidental scrapes against furniture. However, an unshakable feeling in her gut told her there was another explanation. Every time she discovered a new mark, a sinking dread settled in her stomach. Yet, Doña Marta would nonchalantly claim, "Bolt is a bit clumsy, he must have bumped into the table leg." Despite having no concrete evidence, Laura couldn't ignore her growing unease. Bolt's eyes, once full of warmth, now carried a mixture of love for her and an inexplicable fear. The way he reacted to Doña Marta, cowering, lowering his head and tucking his tail between his legs, was alarming. A dog that had always been sociable and playful didn't change overnight without reason. One afternoon, Laura returned home earlier than expected and found Bolt trembling under the living room table. Doña Marta stood nearby, gripping a broom in a menacing posture. The moment she noticed Laura, she quickly adjusted her expression and claimed she was just cleaning. Laura didn't confront her then, but the image haunted her for the rest of the day. Determined to uncover the truth, Laura installed hidden security cameras in key areas of the house: the kitchen, the living room and the service area, where Doña Marta spent most of her time. She positioned the devices discreetly, ensuring that no one would notice them. Her phone was connected to receive live footage, allowing her to monitor any suspicious activity. For the first few days, nothing alarming appeared in the recordings. Laura watched Doña Marta going about her usual tasks, dusting, cooking, while Bolt kept his distance. Then, one afternoon at work, curiosity led her to check the live feed. What she saw left her paralyzed. Doña Marta was yelling at Bolt with pure rage, calling him a stupid beast. The dog cowered in the corner, his head low, his entire body trembling. Laura's heart pounded violently as she gripped her phone, struggling to contain her fury. Then the horror escalated. Doña Marta kicked Bolt, not hard enough to seriously injure him, but enough to show her deep disdain for the animal. The malice in her voice, the cruel sneer on her face. Laura had seen enough. Laura spent that night reviewing past recordings and found more evidence of consistent abuse: shoves, threats with a rag or broom, aggressive gestures meant to intimidate Bolt. The weight of guilt crashed over her. How had she not realized this sooner? Fueled by rage and determination, she devised a plan with Carlos, a longtime family friend and animal rights advocate. Laura pretended to leave for work as usual, but hid in her backyard, while Carlos stationed himself outside in his car. Their plan was to catch Doña Marta in the act. It didn't take long. Around midday, Doña Marta, irritated by Bolt's presence, yanked his paw and pushed him forcefully. Bolt whimpered. That was the final straw. Laura stormed inside, slamming the door open. The sudden noise startled Doña Marta, who dropped the rag she had been threatening Bolt with. The dog bolted toward Laura, seeking protection. Laura,
Quiet, please.
what do you think you're doing to my dog? Doña Marta tried to defend herself, claiming Bolt was unruly and noisy. Doña Marta Bolt was unruly and noisy. But her excuses crumbled when Laura pointed at the cameras which had captured everything. Just then, Carlos entered, serving as an additional witness. Realizing she was caught, Doña Marta exploded in anger. But Laura wasn't listening anymore. With unwavering resolve, she ordered her to leave the house immediately, warning that she would report everything to the police and animal protection authorities. Doña Marta, seething with resentment, gathered her belongings and stormed out, shouting insults as she left. The neighbours, drawn by the commotion, watched curiously. Laura, holding a still shaking Bolt in her arms, whispered to him, "It's over. You're safe now." In the following days, Laura filed a formal complaint, providing video evidence and veterinary records. Authorities confirmed that Doña Marta had been involved in similar incidents before but had never faced consequences. This time, however, justice would be served. Laura made adjustments to ensure Bolt was never left alone again, arranging flexible work hours and trusted caregivers. Slowly, Bolt began regaining his confidence. One day he ventured into the garden, cautiously wagging his tail. Laura watched, tears welling in her eyes. It was a small victory, but a victory nonetheless. Donimata was ultimately found guilty of animal cruelty and prohibited from working in environments involving animals. While Laura felt no joy in her punishment, she knew it was necessary. Bolt had suffered, but now he was healing. The experience left a lasting impact, driving Laura to advocate for animal rights. She shared her story online, raising awareness about hidden abuse. Bolt, once a silent victim, became a symbol of resilience and hope, a reminder that love and vigilance can triumph over cruelty.